What's up, everybody?
Yeah, good evening. Back on schedule this week.
Yeah, you'll actually get a normal release this week. Again, we keep you on your toes.
Yeah, you never know. Hit that subscribe and the notification, all those whatever buttons.
Yeah, get your alerts, notifications.
Yeah, the alerts. There's the word I'm looking for.
Well, no, I was telling Bobby Lee off air, I still am not dialed in. I'm still not 100%. And so to this point, man, I'm like, actually, this leads into something else I'll mention too. Let me make a note here so I don't forget, because I'll tie this into this. I'm curious your thoughts. But like I was saying, my blood pressure has been like out of whack.
So it might be more than just the decongestants.
Yeah, that's what so this morning it was really high, and like I said, had terrible anxiety, which is not, I mean, I've been having that a lot. I will say ever since I came to farming full time, this when a lot of that really started. I love what I do. Like that's what I want to be doing, but the stress is also tenfold. But I checked blood pressure this afternoon, and it was normal. Like I was able to chill out. First check was a little high. I did some of my woosah breathing.
Have you a joint at 420? And
I should have. I might would have got it right. But and then it was normal, or it was pretty good. It was almost right where it needed to be. And so I'm like, man. So yeah, I actually go next week to the freaking cardiologist to see what's going on.
Yeah.
I told Marcy, I said, my hopes are to walk away either knowing, okay, nothing's wrong and it's all just anxiety in your head, or two, this is what's wrong. Now let's fix it.
Right.
So that's kind of, because she was like, don't be freaking out. And I'm like, I'm really not freaking out. Like, I'm like, yeah, let's see I want to get this tuned in. Cause hell, I'm active, I work out. So I'm like, I shouldn't be having blood pressure issues.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. People aren't going to look at you and think, hell, that some bitch has high blood pressure.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it pissed me off too. Like, that's what I told Marcia. I said, it actually makes me mad because it'd be different if I was like a fat slob that sat around and never did anything.
Yeah.
But I'm like, because then I'd be like,
lived a really unhealthy lifestyle. Yeah.
I'd be like, well, I mean,
what can I expect? Yeah.
Yeah. Saw it coming. But it's like, hell, I work out, all this. And like I said, the Zone 2 training, which I just started it. And my buddies that are coaches, they kind of were the one telling me about it. It's supposed to be super good for your heart. But you take your age minus 220, or 220 minus your age, and then I think 70% of that is the heart rate that you want to be in for Zone 2.
Okay.
So for me, it comes out to right around, I think 144 or something in that area. And that's you
want to maintain that for a certain period
for
of time.
an hour to an hour and a half.
Wow. Yeah.
Which is a long time.
That is a long time.
Yeah. And it's not the workout's not hard because for me, I'm setting, I did get a treadmill because I was like, gosh, I can't do a rower for an hour, especially not trying to keep my heart rate that at 140. So I bought a treadmill and I put it on an incline, and I'm doing as fast of a walk as I can do comfortably. It's hard to even say comfortably. I was telling somebody today, we were talking about it, and I said, it's just enough to be uncomfortable.
To keep your heart rate up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, an hour, damn, that's a long time on a treadmill. I was watching Escape from New York this morning. If I don't have a movie or something to watch, I don't know that I could do it.
Yeah, that's a long time. How many days a week are you supposed to do it?
My goal is 4.
Yeah, that's a big time commitment.
It is.
That alone. That's where I struggle with my running. It's just, and hell, I don't run for that long, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not typically. But I was thinking, because on my runs, I average about, I don't know, 150 for my heart rate, but
Yeah.
I'm not running for an hour.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I'm just trying to pull up my little stats from my last run, what my average heart rate was, but 147 on my last run. But yeah, so I'm right in that range. But
Yeah.
that was for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's how I was. See, I had been walking in the pasture and coming back, but walking through the pasture, my heart rate would vary wildly because like when I'd be walking up them big hills, especially if I was going fast, hell, my heart rate might get up to 160. Yeah. But then whenever I'd level off and I'd be walking, my heart rate would drop to like 100.
Yeah.
And so it's like all over the place. So with the treadmill, I can maintain like a set speed. And yeah, I mean, I just have to watch a movie or something, but my goal is 4 days. And that's what I've been getting up at 5 o'clock and doing it because also like I had a buddy that was like, well, why don't you just save the money of the treadmill and go outside? I'm like, well, that sounds great, except on the days that my wife works and she's gone to work. I can't just, all right, kids, y'all are asleep in bed. I'm going to go walk and be a mile away back in the pasture.
Yeah.
My luck, they'd wake up and be, freaking out at 6 o'clock in the morning, like wondering where I was. So, but, yeah, apparently it's supposed to be good for your heart, but I don't know. So doing it, but I do have a cardiologist appointment tomorrow.
Well,
or not tomorrow, but Tuesday.
Next week. So.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Hopefully you have a good update for us next week.
Hopefully so. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be, telling you guys, hopefully I'll be there. I told my wife today, I was out there working on the track hoe. I did get my other track hoe going. My deer is back in action.
Clean out the fuel tank or?
No, me and Dad were talking. He said, you ain't got to drain the tank. He said, just change the filters again. He said, keep an extra set of filters. He said, you might have to change the filters a few times. He said, and it'll eventually get it pretty cleaned out. So that's what I did. I changed the filters again. I actually took both filters off and pumped the primer up to pump the fuel that was in the lines through it in case there was some crap in there. And put the new filters on, primed it up, and it's been running. I went out there and put some fuel conditioner in it today. Because that's what I told my wife.
That $875 was worth every penny.
Every penny, man. Yeah,
they fixed you right up.
They did. I did nothing that they recommended, and it worked perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and that's what I told my wife today. I said, because I was like anxious. I said, well, if you don't see me, if I don't come in tonight, I've had a heart attack out by the the track hoe. I said, I'm probably stiff and dead by the time you would notice. But I am here recording tonight, so there was no heart attack had. But I do not have a drink tonight. I was like, well, I guess I'll hold off on the whiskey for tonight.
Yeah. I didn't have anything to drink. Well, no, I'll take it back. I did drink a beer last night. But anyway, I've cut back. We've been running out of milk because
you've been drinking a lot of milk now.
Like for dinner, I'm like, I'll drink water at lunch, but like for dinner, I'm like, I don't want to drink water.
Oh man, you're a milk drinker at dinner?
I can, yeah, depending on what we're eating. But yeah,
like a steak.
I can. Now normally with a steak, I want I want a beer, just buy any meal.
Yeah.
Or I'll drink a little red wine with my red meat.
I could drink red wine, but milk. Dad used to drink milk with chili, and
I can do that. Some of those odd like pizza, I can drink milk with pizza, but yeah, now that I've come of age, a beer with pizza goes pretty dang good.
Yeah. I'm pretty boring, man. Now, since when we cut out Cokes and all that stuff, I drink, if I ain't drinking water, it's sweet tea. And
say we don't really make sweet tea at home.
We don't either.
I don't say we don't, or we don't really, like we don't at all.
Yeah, we don't either. We buy Milos from time to time.
Say we don't.
Yeah.
I drink water and I guess milk, and then, well, of course, coffee. I drink too much coffee. Well,
that's another thing I think I'm going to have to cut back on.
Caffeine?
Yeah, because that's what this morning, I got up and I did my zone 2, and I did 4 miles on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Because again, it's not fast pace. But I did 4 miles, and then I took the kids to school, and I drank coffee. Like I barely even drank water. So like I had just got done essentially, keeping my heart rate elevated, and then drank a cup of coffee. And I told Marcy, and then I didn't eat anything for breakfast. So, like, I didn't eat until almost 1 o'clock. I was like, I think that's probably played one part in it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I'll eat some breakfast. That kind of tames me down a little bit. So,
yeah.
I don't know. But it's interesting.
But the track hoe is up and running. Did you get to run any?
No, I have not gotten to run any yet. I got out there and I got it. I let it run for a little while, but I am on. We'll see what the weather does. We're supposed to get blown away tonight.
We things had dried up pretty darn well until we got that rain yesterday.
Yeah. I think it's tornado warnings tonight.
Really?
I'm pretty sure, unless
it's really warm outside. For those of you on YouTube, I'm wearing a super light pullover, and I walked outside and I was like, oh, I might need to take this off.
I got my air on in the house.
We have not done that, but
yeah, right here, Weather Channel. There is a likely risk of severe weather tonight. Wind, tornadoes, and hail are possible. Look out for powerful tornadoes. Have a plan and be prepared, damn it. That's what it says on the Weather Channel.
Damn. Yeah, you're right. I'm seeing that now.
Dang, tornado threat is a 3. Is that 3 out of 5?
I don't know.
Until 6. Well, hold on. That says until 6 p.m.
Yeah, mine says we're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Not even a watch, but that's just severe thunderstorm.
Well, that's going to work out. It says starting around 9:45. So luckily we were able to record a little earlier tonight because you'd have been driving home in the tornadoes.
Well, yeah, this don't even make any sense. It says we're under a severe thunderstorm warning until 9:30. Well, it is currently 8:53.
Yeah, that's on what are you looking at?
This is from the National Weather Service in Memphis. I'm on Wonderground is the app I use, but that's the National Weather Service that's issued that.
You see, mine don't even show anything starting until about 10 o'clock. Well, for you people watching or listening, there's a chance.
This is up to date. This is like up to the minute, like changing. Wait, I see the radar now. It's just south of us. I don't know if it's it's kind of moving this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. If all of a sudden we quit, you just cut out on you.
We're seeking shelter.
Not sure if you'll hear from us next week or not.
I was going to say, I mean, this is a pretty stout little shed we're in out here, and I've kind of fortified it with some insulation, and we're kind of in a little extra protected part here where we got the wood up, but I don't know how much it would withstand a tornado.
Yeah. The way this thing is moving, we're probably going to find out by the time we end this episode. So,
well, we might have, this episode might be a tad shorter than the others. Well, I will, before we get into what you got, I'll tell you, so I took my bull last week or whatever to get processed.
Yeah. You said you were getting the hide back to tan it.
I got it. I'm going to try it myself. I'm going to try to tan it myself. But I don't remember, did I talk about the tongue?
Oh, no.
All right. So I was filling out the list of everything that I wanted, and Brock was with us, and he was with me when I was filling everything out, and it was like tongue, oxtail, and all that, and I was like, I don't want any of that. And
oxtails, I've cooked those before.
Well, that's what Brock was like. Man, you ain't gonna get the tongue, and you ain't gonna get the oxtail.
I wouldn't have done anything with the tongue. I mean, I'm not going to Steve Ranella the whole thing.
Well, that's what I was like, man.
You could have given it to Bear.
Well, I asked the guy there, I said, what do you do with the tongue? And he said, man, I always hope nobody wants it because that's one of my favorite parts. And I said, really? And he said, the tongue is awesome. And Brock was like, dude, the tongue is great. He was like, yeah, if you don't tell anybody what it is, they'll love it. And he said, the oxtail makes really good soups and stuff. And
yeah, I've done oxtails before.
I've seen the seasoning in the store,
Yeah.
But so I was like, well, I'll get the tongue and the oxtail. And yeah, I was telling Marcy, I told her the other day, I said, yeah, I'm gonna have the tongue and the oxtail. And she said, there is not a chance I'm gonna eat either one of those.
Well, the tongue, I would absolutely eat it. I mean, it's just meat. But
yeah.
Yeah, they were probably laughing after you walked back out to the truck.
Probably. They're like, yeah, that guy's getting the tongue. What an idiot.
And speaking of Steve Ranella, meat eater, which they're they go a little bit off the deep end on that stuff, but they were out. I believe it was Cal. They had killed a mule deer, and like they were out in the field, of course, and they were camping. He's like, "Well, first thing we're gonna eat's the tongue." He's like, "We love the tongue," and they did. So I don't know, maybe more to it. Well, I eat the heart out of a deer, and I've never eaten the beef heart.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm getting it, but yeah, Bear he may end up getting that. But.
Well, liver, like they always ask us. I've never used the processor you're using. A lot of times I get the liver just because, I mean, they're just going to throw it out.
You eat it raw?
Yeah, like the Liver King.
That's right.
I mean, no steroids at all.
Exactly.
No, I have a couple of people who like it, and I end up just giving them all the liver.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, I know a few people that do like to home prep stuff for their dogs, which I think that's kind of, I won't say weird, but just, yeah, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, hey, y'all want some beef liver? And then because the few people I know that cook the beef liver, like I've eaten it, like they would cook something and give it to me, and I'm like, well, that's good. But then I would ask them how they cooked it, and after like 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, yeah.
So a lot of process.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, that's. I've got like 2 jobs, 2 kids, and we run around like chickens with our head cut off. I need dinner to be relatively easy for me to get going.
If the whole like premise of the preparation is to completely alter the entire taste of the food, then I'm like, nah. You know, like that's like, man, this is really good. You just gotta barbecue it for 12 hours, and you gotta take it out of that. You gotta pressure cook it for 8 hours, and when you do that, you gotta do it in it like.
You know, you're obviously, you know, your dad used to be a big coon hunter. And I've heard him talk about how they would cook coons.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, it's the same thing. I'm like, dude, like. This is like a novel. Like, that ain't worth it. Like, I know obviously you don't want to hunt them and then waste them. So it's like, and if you really love hunting them, then you got to figure out some way to prepare them that it's worthwhile. But that ain't worth it.
No, I'm right there with you. Well, and see, he's got some coons. He said he's going to cook us. Like we got some people that coon hunt. We let coon hunt, and Dad told him, he was like, I want to cook some of them. So they brought him several coons. And he hadn't cooked them yet. They're in the freezer, which he's got a pressure cooker that he like freaking loves. Yeah. And he'll use it a lot on stuff like that. But
I enjoy using a pressure cooker, which I love to squirrel hunt, but I eat my squirrels, and I don't know. But a lot of times I pressure cook my squirrels. But anyway,
that's what he pressure cooks them and then fries them.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. So, but no, I will be getting the tongue and the oxtail. And I don't know we'll see what happens with that, but we'll be getting those. Man, I tell you what, that hide is heavy as hell. Like I
would imagine so, yeah.
But you know,
what did he weigh?
I don't know yet. I forgot to ask him. Yeah. I mean, I guess whenever I go get it, you know, I'll definitely ask him.
Well, it'll be on your ticket because that'll be, I'm sure, how they charge you.
Yeah,
they may not. Some places give you live weight and the carcass weight, which even just. Carcass weight's really what I was interested in. Just
the old black one, looks like he's probably gonna have a life of breeding.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be going maybe this Sunday.
Okay.
So, which I kind of am glad, because my red one that got processed, one we called Curly, he had kind of started to get a little squirrely. You know, he would get a little rowdy.
He's a jerk. So did you hang around and watch him kill him?
I did, yeah. I said, I actually just pulled a pistol out. You know, I just shot him. But,
yourself?
Yeah, I said, let me do this one. And I blasted him. And, no. We do need to preface, I mean, somebody, I feel like our audience is pretty well tuned in, but we do put these on YouTube, and there'd be some random person that would watch, and they'd be like, my God. Like
somebody that doesn't understand our humor.
Yes, like they would freak out. But no, he had kind of gotten a little rowdy. He tried to pulverize me right there at the end. So I was like, I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah.
But the black one, man, like, cause I got my 2 bottle calves in there, and I'm keeping him in the barn now since he's going to be going. So like you walk in there and he comes over there and he's like, he likes for you to pet him and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I'd kind of hate to send you to slaughter now.
Well, I may have told you this story, but, I use a few different processors in the area, or I have over the years. I currently use 2, but one of the ones, you drop off the animals and, you give them all the information, whatever. Like usually I'm gone before anything happens. Because I mean, hey, people won't think we're like heartless. Like, no, you do have a little bit of emotional attachment. And one time I was actually taking a cow. I had a guy, this was like during peak COVID when you couldn't find anything. And I don't even know how this guy got my number. He was like, man, he's like, I just want some beef. And I was like, well, I've got done with all my steers for this year.
Yeah.
I do have some cows that are just, they didn't get bred. I'm going to take them to the sale barn. Like they won't be like fantastic like steaks, but for ground meat, like, oh yeah, they'll be lean.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, that's what I want. You know, I didn't charge him near what I would have if it was a steer. So this was a cow, like mama cow that had multiple calves for me. Like I'd had her for a while.
Yeah, that's even worse than your bull. Yeah.
Yeah. And drop her off and like, you know, I'm expecting I'm gonna be down the road, and I'm like pulling away and I hear pow. Of course, I look up in the mirror because I can't help it. I'm like, damn, guys, like y'all could have waited 30 seconds. I'd have been around the bend to the road.
And then they had to reload because they missed, and they were like, pow! It was like in Me, Myself, and Irene when he's shooting the cow on the road and he has to shoot it like 12 times. That's what Bobby Lee saw. They were just like, damn, you know, you kept having to blast it.
It wasn't quite that bad, but it was like, oh, man. Like, come on, guys. Like,
yeah, no, I did like.
I understand y'all got a job to do it. I know what's going to happen, but you could have given me the courtesy of like literally another 30 seconds.
So then you aren't going to be on with our bow hunting idea then. When we were going to bow hunt the cows, you weren't going to be one of our.
Oh, no, people were willing to pay me enough money. Yeah. But I was paying this guy to do it.
Yeah. Well,
but they since have a little better setup now, and so it's like he had a pen, you know, for the cow to be in at that time. But now he's the last few times I've gone to him,
you're like, let me get out of the drive before you blow his brains out.
Again, I've never. Like, that was literally the last, maybe the only cow I've ever had processed. It's always fed steers or about a heifer here or there. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, this place, that's how you pulled around back and they had 2 pens and you opened the door and let him in one of the pens. And yeah, like, I mean, I was even able, like, walking out, I was like, all right, buddy. Like, I could even, like, reach in there and kind of pat his head. And I was like, see you later. And then walked out and we were gone. And they called me a couple hours later to pick up the hide.
You didn't get USDA inspected, did you?
No.
See, that's a weird process because they do have USDA inspection there. Yeah. I thought they did. So if you were doing it through that process, like, you can't even unload them off the trailer until the inspector's there.
Oh, really?
It's the most stupid ass.
That sounds like
government BS that you've ever experienced. Which I went on a pretty good rant today because we have our state health inspection tomorrow at the vet clinic, and it's every year. Everybody's like all in a tizzy, and like, look, I'm not bragging or anything, but like, we have a pretty nice facility, you know, relative to others. We're not the biggest and baddest ass clinic around by any means, but I mean, we do everything right.
Yeah.
But there, of course, anytime it comes to like the state and all this stuff, there's some stupid ass rules that, you know, whatever, you know, like the garbage can has to have a cover over it and stuff like that. That's fine. Like ours do.
Yeah.
But there's a few little things. They're like and so they move all our stuff. And I've like got a patient here I'm trying to work on. I'm like, where's, like, I reach for something, like, where is that? Oh, well, it's not supposed to be in this area because the state health inspector. I was like, we're literally like making this environment less safe to appease a state inspector. And literally the state inspector, this is the 14th year, I guess I've experienced one.
Yeah.
Usually, like, they're there and gone before you even know they're there, which I appreciate that. Like, they can tell pretty much, like, everything's on the up and up for us.
Yeah.
Check the boxes, like, and get on.
Yeah.
Like, don't bother us. And they don't, thank God. But we always freak out. I say we, more of some of our other management than me. Because I'm always just like, what
are they going to do?
Well, and I mean, not what are they going to do? Because they could take our license if they wanted to, but like, come on, we're doing things the right way. We're trying, you know, we're absolutely drowning in a caseload right now. Like, don't, you know, there's plenty of other places you can pick on. But anyway, that's my anti-government rant. And again, I will admit our inspectors have been pretty good about, like, I don't even know they're there. They're like, yeah, they're already gone. I'm like, I didn't even see them. Like,
Yeah.
literally, like, we have a pretty big building, but they're like, yeah, they come in. They basically want to, they need to check, make sure you're storing your controlled drugs like you should, and check your drug logs. Be sure I'm not, like, selling a bunch of,
Well, don't let them know where I'm getting my steroids.
Right. Stuff like that. Like, yeah, we handle a fair amount of controlled drugs, and yeah, be sure that we all of a sudden don't have like a 10,000% increase in the number of controlled drugs we're using because I'm selling them to somebody on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check on that stuff, and don't worry about the nitpicky little stupid shit that, that's my anti-government rant for the night. No more.
Well, I wrote down that thing earlier to ask you, and this was, I forgot to bring it back up, but I saw what I wrote down, and it kind of could tie in with that pretty well. So earlier I was talking about the heart issues and all that. Well, you're familiar with Damar Hamlin. Everybody saw what happened to him.
I know where you're probably going. Yeah.
Did you see that clip?
He wouldn't. And people, of course, the people that were, kind of.
Well, I think it's one of two things. It could be Vax related, or maybe he was on drugs.
Could be that. And some people were like, well, it's just too fresh and raw for him. I'm like, no, like he's doing this interview. Like it's, and he's a very openly, devout Christian. Like, no, like, I don't know, cause I've never died and then been brought back to life. But like if the doctors told me like, and people pointed out, well, look, he still stands to make a lot of money playing football potentially. And I don't know if he'll ever play again. So, like, if he has something wrong, he may not want to disclose that to teams because that could affect, them. Which I'm pretty sure those teams probably get access to his medical records before they invest millions.
I would think so.
I would think if he wouldn't release his records to them, that would probably preclude anybody from signing. But people were kind of, but man, it's like, damn, if y'all don't want us to be conspiracy theorists, y'all sure as shit don't
give us a lot of ammo. Yeah.
Yeah. It's well, there was, and of course these guys aren't medical experts, but I saw there was a video. It was a hot mic moment at the World Series of Poker.
Where they was talking about the chest pains.
Like, man, he's like, ever since I got that shot, I've got chest pains all the time. And
yes, he said, I wish I wouldn't have got that. Yeah.
He's like, I had to get it so I could come play the tournament. It's like, oh, damn. Like, and of course, Pfizer's a big sponsor of everything because hell, they can take over the world with all the money they've made in the last 3 years.
There is no concern of mine vaccine related. I will go ahead and throw that to clear speculation. That's not, I ain't got to worry about that. But I don't know. Like you said, they give us an awful lot of ammo and then everything else, like right now, the Epstein file, like a lot of that stuff's coming out, but then they're showing us all the alien weird stuff. And I'm like, man, it's typical sleight of hand. Like, look over here. Well, this happens over here.
Well, and the whole Epstein thing, one thing I read on that, and I haven't paid a lot of attention because I know damn good and well.
Where they had to agree to it?
Yeah, they ain't going to tell us nothing that they don't want us to know. But right, they're only releasing the name of clients that agreed to have their names released. So I'm like, well, who the hell would do that? Like, go ahead and tell the world I hung out with a known pedophile. Went to his island where he was literally prostituting out children.
Yeah,
like,
he was human.
Go ahead and tell the world that I was there. Like, imagine there's going to be like, couldn't imagine any names being released.
I know, I was surprised some agreed, but
it's going to be Jeffrey Epstein. Like, he was on his own island. But
I don't know. It's a lot of weird stuff. And there was my little bull calf out here that you had to get the shot from you the other day.
Yeah.
So I gave him the shot. So for background on this, I had an old bull calf. I call him Rocco. He's a moron. I saved him from the pasture out there. His mother made no milk. He's several months old. He is tiny. And he's got
really weak.
Yeah.
Just poor doer.
I mean, he's, had very little I say protein, but he's had very little protein. I mean, he's eaten hay most of his life.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's in that stage where he really needs that. And, I got him up in the shed. I call him an idiot or a moron because, I mean, he really is. He he is as wild today as he was a month ago or whatever when I got him. Like, he still will run from you. He used to charge me sometimes. Like, I'd go in there and he would charge me, and you could like push him and he would fall down. Like, he is so weak. And so he's been that way. Well, I've been feeding him. I got him in there with my other calf we call Annabelle, and she's bigger than him. She's an older calf, and she's pretty good size now. And she won't share the feed. Like, I've noticed that. Like, he'll go over there to eat with her when I put the feed in there, and she'll like butt his head out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
And so
nature doesn't care.
No, it don't care. And
actually, it's quite the opposite. If you're weak, they want you to
gone.
Die.
Yeah, yeah. And so I had gone in there, and he was. I noticed one morning I went out there and put feed out. He was down. I mean, he was just laying down. He didn't look like, he wasn't like laid over. He was just laying there. And I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't think a whole lot about it. Well, then that afternoon I went back out there to give him some feed, and he was still laying there. So I went in there, and he had been, telltale sign, he had a pile of crap right behind him where he was laying. So I was like, all right.
He hadn't gotten up.
He hadn't gotten up. Yeah. And so that's when I tried to pick him up. I mean, he's not even that, like, I could pick his back end up and then pick him, like grab him by the neck and pick him up essentially. And that's when I called you and I got that shot. So I gave him the shot, and I waited about 5 minutes, and I got over there and I like picked up his back end, pulled him, and he got up. I got him up. And so I gave him some feed, and the next morning he got up, he was up on his own when I went in there. So I gave him some feed.
See, I've been afraid to ask you.
Yeah, no, well, that's what,
I've kind of forgotten too, but
yeah. Well, I told Marcy, I said, look, it's no secret. I mean, when we get a cow down, I mean, you shoot her, like you shoot the cow.
Well,
like,
an adult cow, typically, everybody says a down cow is a dead cow.
Yeah.
And every now and then, like maybe 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
You can get them up and get them back on their feet and get them back strong again. But yeah, down cow is typically a dead cow.
Oh yeah,
if she can't get up on her own, that's game over.
Man, we got that hip lift we could use on the big cows. I mean, I'm essentially doing that for him, but he's small enough I can just do it.
Yeah, you do it by hand.
There's this thing for people that don't know. It's got these 2 little loops, and it tightens up, and it's metal, and it goes on their like hip bones, and you can use a come along, or sometimes we even use a front end loader.
Yeah, that's how I use front end loader on a tractor. If I have to,
just pick their hips up, and then they can a lot of times stand up in the front.
You can support all the weight on the front end. Yeah, get them up. And
dude,
some of them you get them back on their feet, and they're fine.
Yeah, but we've had several. Man, that's some of the maddest that I've seen my dad is whenever like we've had a cow, and he's mad out of like, because it's like, man, I'm about to have to put a bullet in you, and like,
because some of them just won't try. That they've given up. And And when they're at that point, right, it's game over.
Well, that's how I was thinking with him, but and I've had to go in there and help him up some, but like I noticed today, I'm trying to think, this morning, I think he got up on his own this morning when I got in there, and then he was up all day. He's been eating feed, so I'm hoping like, I'm having to give him 2 piles of feed way across from each other. I got hers over here in a bucket and his over here, and I'm making sure he's getting feed. So I'm hoping that protein is helping him out.
Yeah. Well, good. Now, if he's making that much progress, he may end up being fine.
I mean, he jumped over the gate, and he was running around like, I couldn't even catch him.
Yeah. That'd be a good problem to have.
Yeah. So that's the update on him. But while we were on our conspiracy talk,
we mentioned last week that the chicken feed conspiracy.
Bobby Lee found the secret. He uncovered the like missing link in the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna burn them down in this episode.
I'm gonna be suicided tonight by Land O'Lakes. So you can't find out much about it. Like everything you find when you try to look it up on the internet is all just like message board speculation for the most part.
Yeah.
A few articles from, of course, news sites that you've never heard of. Which I'll be the first to admit, just because like the mainstream isn't covering it doesn't mean there is not some truth to it.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
But and so I really just me trying to chase down more info, and it wasn't very fruitful. But I thought about it a lot more, And I still have a really hard time believing it's anything they've intentionally done.
Yeah.
Like there's just, I mean, that would be, because, I mean, even if there was a 1 in 1,000 chance you could prove it, that would be devastating to a enormous brand. I mean, not just impacting their ability to sell chicken feed ever again. Like, you know, nobody would buy any of their, I mean, I was thinking about it. I feed, because I don't feed Purina chicken feed, which I guess is why mine are still laying, but I feed Purina dog food. I feed Purina horse feed. You know, and if it came out that like, y'all, they were purposely, you know, sabotaging, you know, and tainting their feed to essentially poison these animals to make them quit laying, if it wasn't, you know, fatal, like nobody would ever buy anything. I mean, they would be done. They would go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And so do they have some bad feed that's not high enough quality, and so it's affecting these chickens laying? Maybe. I could see that, especially with inputs or commodity prices the way they are. I mean, that directly, I mean, I don't pay attention to what chicken feed costs because I don't buy enough for it to matter. And like I bought 2 bags the other day, and it was amongst about $400 worth of feed that I bought.
Yeah.
So it was,
whatever
the chicken feed was, it was a drop in the bucket compared to all the horse feed. And I bought some, I bought milk for my bottle calf, everything. So
that was $100.
Yeah. So it was, but I would imagine compared to what chicken feed cost a couple of years ago, it ought to be double in cost, you know, just because corn, soy, all that's, you know, they're direct inputs. But.
Well, I thought the same thing. That was the one thing I was thinking about. I'm like, all right, I get on board with a lot of conspiracies, but I am like, I get where on the Land O'Lakes side, you could make the argument of like, all right, if they make the feed stop producing, whatever, it helps. But I'm also like, but how much are they going to lose if they're the Purina people? Because, dude, I would never buy another scrap of Purina anything, and I know a lot of people would.
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I would immediately change my dog's food, everything. Feed. They and they've always been competing with backyard chickens.
Yeah.
But I would dare say they make more money selling chicken feed to people that think they're saving money by raising their own. The most expensive eggs you can possibly eat are ones you raise yourself.
Yeah.
Like they're.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when you came to pick up that shot from me the other day, you saw my new chicken coop. Even if you take out what I spent on that, which was ridiculous, just what I spent on chicken feed and buying the chickens, and heck, you have to feed them for 6 months before they even start laying. Like, even at current egg prices, it would be cheaper for me just to buy eggs at the store.
Yeah. And I still, man, in the grand scheme of things, that there can't be enough people with chickens in their backyard to be making a dent in egg sales.
No, not even close.
Yeah.
Even as popular as backyard chickens are right now, exactly. But and so yeah, I think, you know, they possibly have some feed that's just not up to par. You know, that they've tried to cut some corners. You know, and I'm actually, a buddy of mine has always said, like, it's funny because like getting corn when you're like testing for aflatoxin, they have tighter regulations on how much is allowable a lot of times for corn that's going into animal feed than sometimes for the more human consumption.
Really?
Which I don't know if that's 100% true in like in every application. And so I don't know if they've relaxed some of that, and maybe, you know, in order to save some money, they're feeding some corn that's maybe a little higher and like aflatoxin, and it's something like that maybe. But I still have a hard time believing that it's anything they're doing intentionally. Yeah. But I don't know. I'd love, because actually, I mean, minutes before I came over here, my wife was texting with somebody. So we just got a few more chickens. And they were asking what kind of chicken feed we feed. And I was like, oh, Lord, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
You should have said Purina, and my God, we can't control how many eggs we're getting.
Well, and that's kind of where it went, but I kind of lost train of thought there. But anyway, what I would love is, if I knew somebody, because I have I guess I now have 7 chickens. We went from 5 to 7 today. Big BTO.
Did you get young ones, or did you get like full grown chickens?
Well, they're young, but they are laying.
Gotcha.
They're I guess pullets. You
they
call
ain't
them,
chicks.
No, not baby chicks. Because I mean, heck, you can go to Tractor Supply and buy those right now. But anyway, or co-op would be my preference, even though our co-op's not a co-op anymore. Anyway, different rant for a different day. But somebody that had like a bunch, because I mean, you hear people that are like, oh man, my neighbor's got like 80 hens.
Yeah.
I'd love for them to split them randomly into a groups, even size groups, 40 and 40. Feed this group free choice access to the Purina feed, feed the other group free choice access to, I mean, in my case, the co-op feed.
Yeah.
And say, look, after a month, wow, we're averaging so many eggs a day from this group of 40, and just see, is it really that different for chickens that are otherwise
no
completely raised, housed in the same environments. They're just separated by a barrier so that they, eat different feeds.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because I don't know, people love to blame stuff on food. And I know this from like the small animal veterinary side of things. Like everybody, and food allergies happen in dogs and cats. So if any of my clients are out there listening, like, yes, your dog can have a food allergy. Like that can be why he itches. Well, in this part of the country where we are in the Mid-South, where allergies are like some of the worst in the world. Not when I say allergies, environmental allergies.
Yeah.
If your dog is itching, the odds of it being a food allergy versus something in the environment are slim to none. But it's a daily basis where I hear somebody talk about, yeah, he was real itchy, and then we switched his food. Man, he's so much better now. and of course, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that's probably all in your head.
Yeah.
Because these aren't. I will preface say they aren't switching from whatever Old Roy or basic dog chow to a prescription hypoallergenic dog food.
Yeah.
They're literally just switching from one
to Alpo, from Old Roy to Alpo or something.
Something essentially like that. But it's like chicken. This one's allergic to chicken. So we switched him to the lamb and rice formula. Like, well, look closely at the bag, but probably that lamb and rice, lamb's going to be one of the first ingredients, but I guarantee you chicken byproduct is in there somewhere because that's a really good, cheap
filler.
Yeah. Well, it's not even filler. Like it's a good
protein.
Yeah. Protein, it's labeled as a byproduct because it's like organ meat that in the U.S. is considered a byproduct. It's not something we consume as humans. It's perfectly good. Well, even for us to eat, but especially for animals. And so even if that's not the primary source of protein in that diet, if your dog is truly allergic to chicken, any bit of chicken in there, even if it's the 15th ingredient, is going to be enough to make it react.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point there is just people love to look for anything to blame it on other than they're not raising, housed properly.
Yeah.
I got to find something else to blame it on. And of course if the dog's doing fine, I don't argue with them. I'm like, hey, great. You switched the food, your dog's doing great. You're happy. The dog's happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
But,
my dog will eat cat turds sometimes. So I'm like, nothing. I'm like, he ain't got no allergies.
You see like a lot of comedians that make fun of kind of those people. They're like, or I go to the,
Trader Joe
I saw somebody
or something.
talk about that they said Yeti makes a dog bowl, and I have seen those.
Yeah,
like one of our local stores. To give them a shout out, Nafis. Love Nafis, but they're a Yeti dealer. They have every Yeti cup, cooler, anything you could think of. But it's literally like a $40 dog bowl by Yeti.
Just a big plastic dog bowl.
Saw a guy. I think it was like on Twitter or something one time. No, it's the Yeti like.
Oh, it's
like
metal.
The tin
okay.
Material.
Yeah.
Probably a damn good dog bowl. He's like, I just saw my dog eat a road-killed rabbit, vomit it up, and then eat it again, like out in like the yard.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he needs a Yeti dog bowl to eat his food out of.
No, that's how. But people, they do it because people buy it. Like,
oh yeah,
like Bear has had it's an aluminum bowl that he eats out of that I bought at like Walmart when he was a puppy 10 years ago or whatever. Yeah. Like, I mean, and I bang on it. Like if there's a little water in it, I got to dump it over. I'll bang on it and put it back over there. And I mean, he used to play with it, and it has survived the test of time. I probably paid $10 for that bowl.
Yeah, we use the cheap aluminum or stainless steel ones.
Yeah,
those are most sanitary. Plastic's okay. One of my dogs, my oldest one, she eats a little bit of canned food because she's old as hell. And it's just trying to keep her eating. And I heat it up in the microwave. That's a storm rolling in?
That's the storm rolling in.
So we use plastic for her because I have to throw it in the microwave for about 10 seconds to warm it up.
Yeah. All right, we're giving you guys a little shorter one tonight because we don't want to get blown away.
I'm pulling up the radar. Yeah, it is just south of us.
Yeah.
It was south of Memphis, about 35 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Now it is bearing down on us.
You got a company tonight?
Well, let's dial up our fearless leader.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't ready.
I heard the raindrops.
Start off with 2 words. Made in America.
Made in America. So, yeah, I'm going to use a very small local company. My father-in-law actually for Christmas gave me a knife made by a neighbor of his.
Okay.
His brand is under Whitetail Forge. His name is Darren Toddy. But if you look up, I believe he's got a Facebook page. I'm a real-time Whitetail Forge knives. If you type that in on Facebook, I believe he will come up.
So you got a website, or is he just on Facebook? Like you order off of Facebook?
So I don't really know, which is bad. If you're in the Columbia, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee area, Murray County, I would imagine you can message him and pick it up. He may ship them to you. It can ship them to you as well. Yeah, I found him very easily on there. I mean, obviously you can message him and find out. Maybe he doesn't, but really cool knife. I should have brought it and could have shown the YouTube viewers. Yeah, Darren Toddy.
Whitetail Forge.
Whitetail Forge handcrafted knives. And if you're really interested, message one of us and message me. I can definitely get it to you. Yeah, really cool knife. Like to the point where, I mean, he makes some stuff that's almost more decorative. But still functional as well. Yeah, he's actually one of my father-in-law's neighbors.
That's pretty cool.
His farm, and like they hang out like at his forge,
Yeah.
Just shoot the bull and stuff like that.
Man, that'd be cool. I wish I had a neighbor that was doing that.
Oh yeah, like my father-in-law made like one of those little pigtail like steak flippers things. He made one of those for me. He's like,
really?
Obviously my father-in-law's not like a master bladesmith or whatever like this guy, and so he something simpler like that. He's like, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That'd be cool to have somebody that could show you the ropes and like kind of get you going.
Somewhere cool just to hang out. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like watching them do it.
Yeah, play cards or whatever.
Yeah.
Drink a couple of beers and shoot the breeze while they're, kind of the old, like the shop used to be.
Yep. Oh, I miss that.
For that generation when we were growing up, where all the old farmers would hang out. But yeah, my goodness. That last clap of thunder rattled the walls.
It did. Well, that's what got me thinking. My wife texted me because she knows we're out here recording. She said, "Are you banging on something?" And I was like, "No, no." And then I heard siren earlier, and I said, "Is a siren going off?" And
you heard a siren?
Yeah,
I can't hear.
She said it just says severe thunderstorm warning right now, and then she takes it back. Now we're under a tornado watch. So I was like, yeah, I guess we'll cut this one a little short. Not too bad, about 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, that's good.
Guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and shoot us a comment. Let us know what you think of the episode. Let us know anything you'd like to hear. If you're listening, leave us a rating and a review. And again, shoot us an email. Go to our website, Talk Dirt Podcast, contact page. You can send us a question or anything you want to tell us. If you just want to tell us you love listening to the show, comment it or reach out to either one of us on Instagram. We'd love the support.
Yeah, we love the questions. If it's not a question, it's just a topic you'd like to hear more about. Anything along those lines. We're always looking for more subject matter and whatnot. And yeah, I don't know. Don't feed Purina chicken feed. No.
Unless do it. We want somebody to do the test.
That would be fantastic. We had a listener out there that had a sizable group of chickens. I mean, I've got 7. Like I can't split those up and make it, legit. But enough to have a big sample size of each, and then just see.
Yep. Do it and let us know, guys. Take care. If we don't get blown away, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, Logan will have this one uploaded in the morning, assuming he has
internet, and
electricity, internet, and it's just alive.
Yeah, assuming I haven't been blown away or had a heart attack,
Right. It's all good, Lord willing.
This is true. Hey, you never know. We're never guaranteed the tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, I got to drive home too, so we're going to get out of here.
Yeah. Y'all take care.